Good morning. First, say hello to my little friends. Rightio, chum. Just enjoyed Michael in Dusseldorf's latest video with a box set of Ornette Coleman. I am jealous. Unfortunately, as an old age pensioner, I can't afford it. But man, was it 6 albums of Ornette Coleman? Yeah, you either get it or you don't. You got to be in the mood. Same with James Blood those two work together beautifully. Ornette Coleman and James Blood when they get together. Um, yeah, it's pretty free, all right. Yeah, I just, after watching that video, I thought, wow, that is great covers, beautiful presentation of that box set of Ornette Coleman, lovely stuff. Yeah, I just thought, what could be possibly more different than than that? Then it reminded me of these terrible where you'd get invited home by your boss. Now, I'm just using this as an example. My first proper boss was Dieter Schaar, a wonderful German fellow I worked for at Australian Consolidated Industries in the art department, and he taught me how to be a darkroom technician. And he invited me home to meet. He used to have his own TV show with his wife, Uncle Dieter and Auntie Margaret or something, on a regional television station, WIN Wollongong. And yeah, and he had like the latest thing, which I'm talking 1969, 1969 actually. He had like, he invited me over, and he had like the latest quadraphonic. He had a quadraphonic setup, and no, it must have been 71 because he had Imagine, the album Imagine. I started work there in '69. That's right. And he had like a quadraphonic setup, brand new, and I think he had one album or maybe two. And this was the problem with quadraphonics. It was like they just didn't put out enough records, And he had Imagine. And I remember sitting there going, you could hear like John Lennon's creepy, whiny voice out of one speaker when he's tinkling away on the piano out of it. And I just thought, this is fucking fucked. I mean, it was so unnatural, like they say. Oh, it was an attempt at surround sound, which did not work. You just ended up with things coming from those two corners there and those two behind you. It'd be like going to a concert and having the band sitting in the middle. It was just wrong. Anyway, getting off. But I don't know about anyone else in my age bracket, but occasionally, if you're a sort of a young hipster or whatever the word was at the time, groover, they'd always want to impress you with their, as if to say, well, hey, look, I'm older than you, but I'm hip, sort of thing, and this is just a rant. I get all excited when I see Michael's videos. The Ornette Coleman has really turned me on. And there was a few times this happened where you go to someone that was obviously, maybe 5 years older, and say if I was 19, they'd be like, yeah, mid-20s, so they're already getting along in the tooth, as they say. And so you go there, and like they have, like 6 records or something. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. But I found what I would consider to be a good example of the sort of shit you'd have to listen to. Now, these are just things I've picked up for 5 cents over the years, but this is the one you would always dread you would dread this. I would dread it. And they all have it. And why in the name of God do I have a dishwasher VRP special sleeve? Why do I have this garbage in this beautiful sleeve? So, yes, tubercular balls. Yes, indeed. Oh, you go. Oh, God. Oh, actually, there's one thing worse than these three, and it's one I had suffered through in the 80s, actually. Got invited to a party there. I thought, oh, good, Get there. They had one record, The Best of the Eagles, and they played it over and over. I could not wait to get out of there. It was like a vision of hell. 6 people sitting around with nothing to say to each other, listening to Hotel California. Oh, fuck. It's fucking bloody. I should smoke and then talk. This is more important than yakking. So, yeah, so featuring the original theme from The Exorcist. There she blows. Yep. Actually, the title, I'm going to make the title of this Insipid Music for Insipid People, or something like that. Yeah, so what can I say? The only good thing about this album is it's got Viv Stanchel somewhere on it. Look, I've got them. I think I might have played them once, if that, but somehow I can't bear to part with them. Strange, isn't it? Here's another one that'll make your skin crawl. I think this guy was an Australian or something. John Williams. I'm not sure. Yeah, John Williams. Sky. This must be the first one. I think they had like Sky 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. You get the message. And they all sound exactly the same. Check out the Cool Cats. Are you ready, guys? Come over to my place for a dinner party, Dave, and we'll whack on Sky. Pretty hip dudes, huh? John Williams, Herbie Flowers. What was he doing lowering himself? Kevin Peake, Tristan Fry, and Francis Muckman, all well-known musicians. But best left aside as session men, which is what I think they mostly were. I don't think I've ever played. I think I tried playing this once. I got to about 10 seconds into it and I took it off. But I just can't part with them in case some of those older type people come around for a visit and sit in my chair there. And I'll say, hey, I'll just put on some hip music for you. And this one really takes the cake. Actually, this one's probably got some value. Sebastian Hardy, Australian soft prog or something group. 4 Seasons. There are good bits on this. And they're huge in Japan. They really, really big. The Japs love this band. Fuck this shit. Can't talk and smoke at the same fucking time. So what I'll do is, what's the time? Oh shit, I am waffling. I'll save the worst bit. Just give me a couple of puffs. Yeah. Yeah, there's this other. I've known a lot of very rich people in my life. I've never been rich. Don't want to be. If you think your life's shit, get a couple $100 million in your bank account, and then you'll know when your real problems start. They don't have happy lives at all. But yeah, I went to his house. It was back in the, I don't know, early 2000s, late 1990s, and he just bought the latest one of these huge, big TV, about 50 foot wide, with thousands of speakers and shit all around it. And he had one movie, The Thin Red Line, which was rubbish, um, which is a shame because whoever that director was made the greatest Australian film of Terence Malick. No, maybe it's not it. Don't shut up. And he had, I think, what did he have? He had one record, CD actually. I think it was Bridges to Babylon by the Rolling Stones. And I'm sitting there going, holy fuck, we got to listen to Bridges of Babylon. I've never, it's the only time I ever heard that was at this in his place, in one of his, bolt holes around, some, the only good thing. Oh, Steve was a good guy. I shouldn't knock the guy. Lovely guy. Had his leg amputated when he was a child, and he was the coolest dresser. This guy in the late 70s. He was such a cool dresser, Steve Walmsley. We got along great, but we both had one thing in common. We both liked. I had a Volkswagen Type 3 station wagon thing, and he had an original, from 60 whenever. Yeah, he used to do up Volkswagens. Anyway, this is terrible. I'm just getting off. See, these records are so boring. I'm talking about anything except these. Get ready for it, boys. These are hipper than thou. There's the sex god guy. A bunch of bloody Yugoslavs, Australian Yugoslavs, with one Dago, Mario Milo guitar. Actually, he's a bloody good guitar player. Peter Plavsic bass, Alex Plavsic drums and percussion, and Toivo Pilt, Moog, Mellotron, piano and organ. So we have a Toivo, he sounds like a Finnish, that would be right. That sounds like Finnish or Latvian or something. So we have an Italian, two Yugoslavs, what used to be called Yugoslavs. So they'd be Serbs, and Toivo Pilt. That sounds Finnish. Yeah, so it's all right. 1975, sort of proggy, soft, but I can't bear to part with it. I don't play it. So there they are. The three insipid records, and that's all I've got to say today. I think I'll go back and listen to James Blood Ulmer now, clear my head. Bye.